Hey, this is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, and you're listening to the Ringside Boxing Show, baby. Bomb Squad!
Live from Monterey on California's beautiful Central Coast, this is the Ringside Boxing Show. I'm Dennis Taylor, welcoming you to join me and my expert analysts, Travis Hartman, Rizwaan Zahid, and John J. Raspanti, today and every week for the hottest, sweatiest show on the West Coast. And now, from Studio 1A, it's the Ringside Boxing Show.
Hey, welcome to the Ringside Boxing Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm Dennis Taylor, and this is going to be an action-packed show. We got, first of all, some interesting fights to talk about over the weekend. Also, Big Baby tested dirty and blew up the biggest opportunity he'll probably ever have as a heavyweight fighter. Nevada somehow put Adalaide Byrd on a roster of potential judges for the Canelo-Jacobs fight. Really an amazing week. And we've got another outstanding featured guest today, Merciless Ray Mercer, world heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, 20 years as a pro. He fought Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield, Wladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis, Tommy Morrison. You got to figure this guy has some stories to tell, right? Well, you would be correct. Okay. Ray Mercer is coming up shortly. But first we are going to talk about the latest boxing news with our expert analyst, Travis Hartman, a professional boxer, trainer, and promoter from Osborne, Missouri. He's now living and training in Orlando, Florida. Rizwaan Zahid is a boxing journalist from Toronto. John J. Raspanti is chief lead writer for MaxBoxing.com and DogHouseBoxing.com. And John and I co-authored Intimate Warfare, the true story of the Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward boxing trilogy, which was an Amazon bestseller. Okay, so first of all, guys, the pay-per-view fight between Terence Crawford and Amir Khan on Saturday night lasted less than 6 full rounds. Crawford hit Khan low 47 seconds into the 6th round, and David Fields judged it to be an accident, a mistake. Khan went back to his corner and told trainer Virgil Hunter that he couldn't feel his legs, and then Hunter at that point stopped the fight. So I guess the question for you guys is, Khan was behind on all scorecards, and it was the kind of finish that tends to make a boxing fan think he might have been looking for an exit. Virgil Hunter saw no point in letting Khan finish him off, I guess, but it was a confusing finish. Travis, what was your take on that?
Yeah, it was a very confusing finish, and I'm going to do my best to give Amir Khan the benefit of the doubt, because I think we all know that Amir Khan goes out on his shield, which means he goes out on his back, because he doesn't give up. The guy, and he's proved that over all of the years he's been in boxing, 30-plus professional fights, and he's fought the who's who of boxing. He's always stepped up to the challenge, and he's never taken the easy way out. So I do want to chalk it up. When I watched it live, I thought there was a lot of confusion there. I really couldn't tell what happened. But if you watch it back, Amir Khan never once said that he doesn't want to fight. He never once said he wanted to quit. Versus Hunter, you see him ask Amir, he's like, hey, are you okay? And Amir's like, I can't feel my legs. So here's the deal. Virgil is, I completely know where Virgil's coming from, because even Andre Ward, a couple of rounds before that, Andre Ward was like, hey, Virgil's probably going to stop this if Amir doesn't show him something, if Amir doesn't start doing something a little more, because Terence Crawford was 100% outboxing and beating down Amir Khan. And whether Amir Khan quit in the 6th or not, it probably was a foregone conclusion that I think that Crawford might have ended up knocking Amir Khan out anyway. So to be honest, I think Virgil Hill took the easy way out for Amir Khan and took the pressure off of Amir Khan of actually having to quit or getting knocked out, because I genuinely believe Amir Khan wanted to keep fighting. He was in the middle of it was 30, 45 seconds of a 5-minute break that you get for a low blow, which, by the way, it was a low blow. It was a little bit to the right, technically kind of on the hip, kind of on the groin region as well, but it was low. There's no doubt about that. That the replays that show that, and even Terence in the post-fight press conference, after Terence straight up asked Amir Khan, you quit, didn't you? And Amir was like, no, mate, I didn't quit. But and Amir was like, you hit me low, and Terence was like, yeah, it was low, and it was, but it was an unintentional low blow. So that's why it ended up being a TKO loss for Amir Khan, because it was unintentional. we all know that Terence Crawford, one, is not a dirty fighter. Two, did not need to hit Amir Khan low to win that fight. However, I just think it was a mix-up, guys, between the corners. I genuinely think it was a mix-up. I think Virgil Hunter was trying to take the pressure off of his fighter from actually having to quit and wanted to kind of give him a way out, I guess you could say. And the fans don't like stuff like that. And personally, I don't think Amir Khan likes the fact that he kind of went out that way either, because I genuinely believe Amir Khan would have went out there and fought Terence Crawford all the way to the very end until he either got knocked out or beaten. But I think his corner did him a favor, and that's what Virgil Hunter did. Virgil Hunter is all about keeping fighters safe, guys, and that's exactly why he taught Andre Ward how to fight the way Andre Ward fights, because Andre Ward fights smart, clean, doesn't take a lot of punishment, gets in, gets out, and does his business. And I think that Virgil Hunter saw Amir Khan taking shots. Amir Khan was taking shots from the first round on, guys, which even I didn't predict that would happen. I thought Amir Khan would come out and outbox Terence Crawford for the first 2 or 3 rounds even, and he didn't. Terence Crawford had Amir Khan's number from the get-go. As soon as the first bell rang, Terence Crawford was on point. And I think that, to be honest, Virgil Hunter saved Amir Khan from a brutal knockout or a brutal beating, and that's what happened. I don't think Amir Khan quit. Originally, I thought that he did. I watched it back, and I even watched the post-fight interviews in the post-fight press conference, and I genuinely don't believe Amir Khan quit. I really don't. I think that guy has went out on his shield so many times and he's went out on his back so many times that I don't think he took the easy way out. I genuinely think it was a small miscommunication, but at the end of the day, I think it's what Virgil Hunter probably would have ended up doing anyways. In a couple of rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, Virgil Hunter probably would have stopped that fight because Virgil Hunter actually cares about his fighters. Unlike a lot of other coaches out there, Virgil Hunter genuinely cares about his fighters' health outside of boxing. And you know what? For that fact, guys, I can respect that. But I can also respect how the fans felt a little slighted, too.
Travis, you're a pro boxer. If you get hit off with a low blow off center, can it still be devastating?
Oh, guys, 100%, because here's the deal. You wear a nut cup, and that nut cup, it can, if you hit it sideways, it can definitely pinch one of your boys down there, one of the jewels, one of the crown jewels. It can definitely, yeah, because I've been hit low multiple different times. I've been hit low on a TV fight a couple different times as well. And it doesn't have to actually hit you square in the groin to make your balls hurt, so to speak. So 100%, I guarantee you that Amir Khan did feel some pain in there. And it was literally, it was 30 to 45 seconds inside that break that he got. He had 5 minutes. So I didn't understand why even Virgil cut it so short, other than the fact that I think Virgil was trying to let him just give him the easy way out, essentially, not let him take as much punishment as he's getting ready to take.
Riz, what was your take on that? Did you feel like Khan pulled a no moss, or did Virgil Hunter decide there was no point in letting him continue? Where do you come up on this?
I mean, we've never seen Khan come anything remotely close to quitting before, so I don't think he was looking for a way out necessarily. I do think that, like Travis said, I think Virgil was probably going to stop it soon enough. I said maybe the round before I saw Khan getting hit, and I also saw, they said right before the round started, Virgil Hunter just told Amir Khan, don't rush in. And within 10 seconds, he rushed in and missed a wild right hand. So I think part of it was Virgil Hunter just probably getting a little frustrated because, and if you hear, even if you heard what Andre Ward was saying throughout, usually when guys train together, there's a serious, I would say, not necessarily a friendship, but there's a certain support between the two guys. I don't really hear Andre Ward say many good things about Khan throughout the entire broadcast. And part of it is, there's a top-ranked broadcast, and obviously Crawford's a top-ranked fighter. But I think part of it is they're completely different style of fighters. And I think Andre Ward has probably seen the frustrations of Virgil Hunter and Khan just seriously just not listening to his instructions. And, it's not the first time that's happened. We saw that pretty much in every single Khan fight. That's kind of the way it goes. He gets reckless, and the problem with that style is, with everything that Amir Khan does wrong, he's the only person who kind of pull off doing those things wrong. But it's unfortunate that he has the same amateur mistakes that he did as an amateur. Actually, the problem is he's 32 now, I believe. He's not young anymore. So even if athleticism just takes a 5% hit, That's massive. That's massive in the world of boxing, especially when you're fighting a guy against a guy like Crawford, right? I mean, against Samuel Vargas, he got dropped, and he probably was a little slower then, but it was probably not as apparent. But against a guy like Crawford, it's very apparent. Now, obviously, Crawford looked great last night. Crawford actually looked like a full-blown welterweight, which we didn't really see up until yesterday. Like, physically, he looked completely different. But, we all thought, everyone that posted any sort of prediction said Khan would probably win the first 3 or 4 rounds and then get caught. Yesterday, though, he only won the first 2 minutes, and then he got caught. So it's just, as soon as your speed goes, and again, Khan, for a guy who does, who can get away with doing so many things wrong because of how athletic and his speed is, his hand speed is still, one of the fastest hands anyone's ever seen. But, those same mistakes where he's just leaving his jaw wide out, and when he's, pumping a jab and his right hand is just dropping, right? And it's funny because right before the knockdown, he threw about 2 or 3 jabs before, and I said just aloud that, those are the same jabs he kind of got lazy against Canelo with before he got caught, and then boom, there's the right hand. And Crawford definitely saw it. I mean, if I'm seeing this, then there's obviously Terence is watching the same thing. So it must be frustrating for a guy like Virgil Hunter, who's all about a very disciplined approach, disciplined boxing, discipline in every which way, shape, or form, and Khan just wasn't in it. And there were stories of when they used to enter the gym, and Khan would. That was the first time Khan kind of had to carry his own gym bag, literally and figuratively both, because that's not the way you enter Virgil Hunter's gym. And in Hunter's gym, when he says 8 o'clock and Khan shows up at 8:05, Virgil Hunter says, "Okay, get out of my gym," right? And it's just he never kind of had that before. But I feel like with his time off and his injuries and definitely the side drama that's happened pretty much the last 5-6 years of his career, none of that has contributed to success, and it's been unfortunate because I think I think the other thinking is they knew that a Kell Brook fight was kind of always going to be there, and I think if this fight went another 6 rounds, I think that Brook fight wouldn't be there anymore. So I think they understood, Virgil Hunter understood that we can get out of this fight. It's a loss. He's probably going to lose even if the fight continues. He's good 2 or 3 rounds. 2 or 3 rounds might break his career, but if I stop it right now, a Kell Brook fight can still be made, and that can possibly be his retirement fight because I know that's the fight you want. So I think it was a very calculated decision by Virgil Hunter, even though it was just more strange timing than anything else. I think if he stopped it in between rounds before that, no one would have said anything. But when the low blow happened, it was just, I don't know. I just think it was weird timing than anything else. And again, and even with the low blow, I mean, I don't think it was intentional at all. I think Crawford rushes in a bit, and Khan always pushes a fighter down. He's done that for his entire career. Just it's a way he avoids inside punches. But so I mean that all contributed. But I think the timing more than anything else was strange. But I think Virgil Hunter, like Travis said, Virgil Hunter definitely cares about his fighters. He's not a guy who trains 10 and 20 fighters where he has a very short relationship with all of them. Virgil Hunter's training a guy, that's it for the long haul. He's not a part-time coach at all. So he definitely cares about his fighters. I mean, Andre Ward has obviously said that. I mean, again, Virgil Hunter has trained, I can think of maybe 3 or 4 top guys he's trained at most. And that says something because I think if you do care about your fighters, you're not going to be training everyone left, right, and center. You're going to treat fighters, your fighters are different from everyone else. And clearly Virgil Hunter cares about his fighters, and it's actually becoming a rarity nowadays. So I think it was a good stoppage. It was just an ill-advised time, but the reasons behind it are kind of unclear, but I don't think anyone's disputing how it happened, when it happened, or what the results have been any different.
When I was a kid, guys, we'd go to this all-you-can-eat buffet, and sometimes I'd get filled up with a whole bunch of food still on my plate. And my mom would say, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Amir Khan, to me, was a fighter who tended to bite off more than he could chew all the time, or a lot of the time. And as boxing fans, we admire guys who dare to be great, Mikey, for an example. But at the same time, the line gets blurry between courage and delusion. John, do you think Amir Khan is going to be remembered as a guy who was as deluded as he was brave with the choices he made during his career? And also, knowing what we know about him, do you think he's likely to see this as the end of the road, or will he come back and fight Brook? Will he not be able to stand the way he went out? What's your take, John?
I think he'll be back. I do. I don't think he's going to retire with this. That was very bizarre, like Travis and Riz said. I was when I was watching, I was going, what just happened? I can't remember the last time I saw something like that, and it almost in a way fits Amir Khan's psyche in a way, because Riz made a good point, and I brought this up lots of times with Amir Khan, that he never had that discipline that Virgil Hunter wanted so badly, and I told you the times that I would watch him spar, and he would spar in a very disciplined way, but then he would do the same thing. He would put his chin up in the air, or he would rush in, and Virgil would scream at him. And it was just that I don't think Amir Khan could help himself. That was the way he had always fought, and even he knew.
Slow learner. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He knew he was doing the wrong thing, but he had success, and he couldn't convince himself to. I mean, this would be a great question for Travis. How would you lose that part of yourself where you did something that was effective a lot of times and stayed disciplined and cool and calm, and you'd have to change your personality in a lot of ways. So that would be very difficult. How he'll be remembered, I think, is a little bit of both, Dennis. I mean, I admired him for stepping up. I thought that was phenomenal that he did that. That's why I agree with you guys. I don't think he quit. I think he shows moxie. I mean, pun intended. He shows balls. I mean, what happened yesterday last night was bad, but he's got guts, and he steps up. He wants to fight the good guys. So that's why I didn't believe it. I thought Max Kellerman said something about maybe Virgil was looking for a DQ. I don't know. I think you guys are right. Virgil Hunter, he basically loves his fighters. He doesn't just like them. I mean, they're like his kids. And he had said before the fight that when Amir Khan got knocked out by Canelo, a fight that, of course, that he told me too and told everybody he didn't want Amir Khan to take, it made him sick to see him laying there like that. So he was thinking it could happen again. But another point, Amir Khan actually clipped Crawford with some pretty good punches there. So he was fighting back. He was trying. He wasn't just going into a shell and waiting to get stopped or knocked out. He was fighting back. He hit him with a few right hands. Didn't bother Crawford, of course. But still, he was in there. Last few rounds were a little bit more competitive. So it's going to be a mixed bag with Amir Khan, and it's always been a mixed bag. And in a sense, it's perfect because his style was very mixed up. In a way, he could look so good at times because of his speed. And then he'd do things and you'd say, God, he fights like an amateur sometimes. He flails and like I said, his chin is up in the air. So it's always going to be like that with him. But I think he'll be back, Dennis. I think he'll fight Kell Brook. I don't think it's that good of an idea. He did look slower to me last night, and that was the one thing that was always his advantage was his speed. And Crawford was faster, crisper, hit harder. Khan thought he would be the bigger man in there. Yeah, maybe height-wise, but not as far as strength, by will. I mean, Crawford is just such a tough guy. There's no way. And Khan was kind of shrinking at times against Crawford. So I think he'll fight again. I think he won't be able to pass up all that money. Kell Brook will probably put him down or criticize him and all that, and Khan is used to that. But, yeah, one more big fight, domestic battle in England, and then he'll call it a day.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, can I weigh in on that real fast?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, this is a list of the fighters that Amir Khan has been up against.
Oh. Hey, Travis, we're losing you. We're losing you.
Barrera, Naji, Kotelnik, Peterson, Algieri, Diaz, Sinclair. He's a warrior. And I think that he shouldn't go down as nothing but a warrior. And I think that his legacy is amazing because, for one, he was a silver medalist in the Olympics. I think that he was more than just a guy who was willing to fight everybody. I think he had the talent to fight everybody. I think that if you don't try to bite off more than you can chew, are you really trying to be great? And I think that Terence Crawford, by all means, tried his best to be great. Was he great? Not necessarily, because he lost to all of the greats. But I think that he was just below that level because he was that talented, but I don't think he had, John was saying, his psyche was just a little different than the rest of the great fighters because I think that he had a chin, guys. I want to say this, that everybody says he has a glass chin. I don't believe that. I believe Khan has a good chin. I believe that in all those punches Amir Khan was knocked out with, I think if you let any of the other top fighters get hit with those same punches, they would probably go down too. The fact was Amir Khan let people hit him when he shouldn't have. He got caught with clean shots because like John was saying, he would raise up with his head, he would come in reckless with his chin up in the air, and the fighter would hit him. I think his chin was solid. I just think that he got caught with clean shots that he should have never, ever got caught with. And I'm telling you, all these guys that have a good chin, they have a good chin because they don't get hit a lot, and they try not to get hit a lot. Amir Khan got caught clean with when Danny Garcia knocked him out. That was the cleanest, sweetest shot ever to be landed. Canelo landed just a clean, beautiful shot as well. So I don't think his chin was suspect. Yeah. I just think that his defense was suspect. And that's kind of where I'm at with Amir Khan. I think he had a good chin. I think all of us, if we got caught that clean, we would probably go down too. So I think his defense and his lack of focus down the stretch is what ended up costing him the most in every one of these big fights.
Okay, and I'm gonna stick with you on this next question because the question I've got after that is ideal for Riz. Travis, what kind of grade does Crawford get? How good was he last night?
Well, this is where I don't completely agree with the guys when they said that Amir Khan was slow. And this is the reason, because I've been in the ring with guys, and I have really fast hands. I've been known to have really fast hands my whole career as well. And I fought Terence Crawford, and I remember how fast his hands were. And he doesn't get enough credit for how fast his hands are. I just think that when you step in the ring with another guy and his hand speed and his timing are impeccable and amazing, it will make you look slow and feel slow. You're not slow. Amir Khan wasn't slow. Amir Khan was made to feel that way because that's how good Terence Crawford truly is. Terence Crawford's timing, his intelligence, and his hand speed are amazing. And for me, I give all credit to Terence Crawford in that fight because even I'm almost up there in over 90% in my predictions, and I for sure predicted that Amir Khan would outbox Terence Crawford for about 2 to 3 rounds. But Terence Crawford came out right away and imposed his will as a 147-pounder, imposed his speed, his strength, his smarts, his intelligence, his power. And he impressed me, guys. And I'm just going to tell you right now, too, that I'm sticking with my pick that if Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight, I am still picking Terence Crawford to win that fight. And I know that I'm in the minority, but that's how high I am on Terence Crawford. His ring IQ, his power, his speed, his smarts, I just think he's too much. And I was very impressed with his performance last night. He won. We all expected him to win, but I was just more impressed he dominated Amir Khan, guys, for 6 rounds. Nobody, even the guys that knocked out Amir Khan, nobody has dominated Amir Khan like that. And Terence Crawford did that, and I think we're losing fact and we're losing sight of that. Terence Crawford outboxed, outsmarted, outpowered, out everything Amir Khan. And while Amir Khan has always lost when he stepped up, Amir Khan has never been dominated every single round for 6 rounds in his entire career. And I think that there a lot says about Terence Crawford and not necessarily a lot about how Amir Khan didn't perform. Amir Khan tried. Amir Khan did his absolute best. I don't think he fell off. I just think Terence Crawford came on.
Riz, you've got a great handle on the politics of this sport and things that can delay a fight. Crawford says he's ready for Errol Spence anytime. He's waiting on Spence. What's it going to take to make that fight? What's holding it up?
I don't know. It's interesting to see Bob Arum come out and call out Al Heyman personally and telling people to boycott a fight, until that happens. I don't know. The funny thing is, I think, and you're seeing it, that Crawford needs Spence more than Spence needs Crawford, because the PBC side still has many more credible opponents. I mean, they needed Khan, and they needed to pay him big bucks to kind of do this. But, and let's face it, Khan hasn't really fought and had a good win in many, many years. You're looking at, you look at what Spence is, and Mikey Garcia is still significantly better, I think, than any opponent Crawford's probably ever fought. There's still, even though I don't know why the fights haven't happened, there's still Porter, there's still Thurman, there's still Pacquiao, there's still other major fighters at the PBC side. So I don't know what it's going to take. I think it's going to take more sacrifice from Crawford and Bob Arum, and I don't know if they're prepared to do that. And that could be a sacrifice in terms of money. That could be I don't know what they would do in terms of networks. It would obviously be a pay-per-view fight, so would they do kind of a split broadcast team, which I think is, makes sense. But I definitely think that they're the ones who need to make the sacrifice, and I just don't think they're the ones who are prepared to do so. Because Crawford is not 25 anymore either. He's in his 30s, I believe now. And clearly they're running out of very credible opponents. I mean, Khan is the biggest name he's fought, but I can't think of, any other fight that's really out there that's, logical from the political side and all that and under top rank than like anyone else on the top rank side. Because I think the question is, who does Crawford fight from here? Is there an opponent that anyone's like, oh yeah, well that one's probably going to happen? Like there's not really a whole lot. Where Spence though, I mean, again, Spence, they said Pacquiao, doesn't look like that's happening now, but Thurman's a possibility, Porter's still a possibility, Danny Garcia's still a possibility. But again, for Crawford, what opportunities are there? And Al Heyman, funny enough, Al Heyman's he's pulling on Top Rank actually, because that's what Bob Arum was notorious for, kind of doing everything in-house. This wasn't a, even though it was a Top Rank card, but Amir Khan is not a Top Rank fighter, so they had to go out of the house for this fight. And again, even, you need to go out of the house for another fight for Crawford. Again, there's not, the PBC, the one thing they have a hold on that welterweight division. Crawford is the odd one out here. And again, he's the one who's going to have to take a certain amount of sacrifice to do that, whether it's a financial sacrifice or whatever it is. And I don't know if he's prepared to do it, and I don't know if Top Rank is prepared to do that, but I think that's what it's going to take for that fight to happen. But Crawford needs to, I don't want to see him against another big name that, I like Amir Khan, but Amir Khan has a good win in many years, right? He's not, and you saw last night, he's definitely not the same fighter that he was at his peak either. So I want to see Crawford against a live fighter. Unfortunately for him, I just, I don't know if there's going to be more likelihood if they can make kind of Crawford and Danny Garcia or something like that. But, for the same reasons, it's just unlikely going to happen. So I really don't know where Crawford goes from here, because he's kind of he's in a bad spot. All the other guys, are on the other side of the field, and he has no way to kind of grow across that field. So he's the one I think that really has to push for it. And I think he's, it's going to take a certain amount of pushing for him to do that. Unfortunately, I hope we're not coming to the modern Pacquiao-Mayweather setup. Unfortunately, it looks like we might be though, but and I think it might be the same problem until those two guys can meet face to face, which they haven't. It'd be nice if they actually met face to face. I think that would change a lot. But until that's going to happen, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be any closer to Spence and Crawford. I think that's a pipe dream at best right now.
Okay, well, hey, speaking of Danny Garcia, man, beating Adrian Granados didn't seem like any sure bet to me, but Garcia dismantled him, bloodied him up, dropped him 3 times, TKO'd him in 7. Garcia is a name we always seem to throw in at the last minute when we're talking about all the talent in the welterweight division. John, does he deserve that? Is he part of the top tier or on the next level down? Is he right back in the conversation with all the best guys?
Well, based on that performance, I've been one of his harshest critics. I've kind of mocked his nickname being called Swift. I will admit that. I never kind of got that. I'd call him maybe Danny Precise Garcia, but I thought that was the best he had looked since the Matisse fight. And remember, he was losing the Matisse fight for a while, and then he came on, but he looked focused. He looked, which he hasn't looked very much lately. He looked very crisp. He was punching more, a criticism that he obviously listened to. And here's an example. We were talking about could Amir Khan do something different after all these years? Danny Garcia has been criticized for a long time for waiting, and he's a counter puncher by nature, and we get that. But he said he was going to be a little busier, and he was letting those shots go. And Adrian Granados is a tough guy. No one has ever overwhelmed him like that. So he gave Sean Porter hell. He gave Broner hell. He's a tough, determined guy. And you could see when he got knocked down, he was like, whoa, what was that all about? So, he was bloodied. Yeah, Garcia put himself right back in there, back up there in the top tier. I think he's talking about Pacquiao. That would be a hell of a fight. It would be a hell of a fight between him and Terence Crawford, if that Garcia shows up. Now, obviously, Terence Crawford is quite a bit above Adrian Granados, but since Garcia has this different mindset, he's trying to be busier, it's going to make the fights better. And, maybe he learned. Maybe he learned that he was edged by Thurman and Sean Porter because it was his own fault in a lot of ways. He just wasn't busy enough. He got out-hustled. And countering is great, but don't wait too much if the other guy sneaks around here or whatever. Don't leave it up to the judges. Make the judges see that you won the round. It kind of raised my eyebrows because I thought he would win last night, but I didn't think he would win that easily. I mean, he dominated. You talk about dominant. I mean, he won every minute of every round of that fight, knocked him down 3 times, bloodied him up. It wasn't necessarily a massacre, but that was a superb performance. And when he jumped up on the ropes, he said, "I'm back." So in a way, that was kind of, to me, he was kind of admitting, look, I really haven't been myself in a lot of ways. I might be reading more into this than he meant by that, but meaning I'm back to where maybe I was 5 years ago when everybody was talking about me being so good. So, it was very impressive, and you got to put him back in the conversation just because if that's the guy moving forward, the Danny Garcia moving forward, that guy's going to give the top 2 or 3 guys hell.
Travis, you're going to have to scoot here pretty quick, but let's see if we can squeeze in another one here. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are 2 of boxing's rising stars. They both won impressively last night. Shakur dominated Christopher Diaz, won a decision. Teofimo absolutely demolished Edith Tatley with a body shot in the 5th round. What was your takeaway from those 2 fights?
Shakur Stevenson really, really impressed me, and I like Bradley a lot, but I agree with Tim Bradley after that fight, and Tim Bradley said that he doesn't think any 126-pounders out there right now can compete with Shakur Stevenson, and I actually agree. I think Shakur Stevenson is impressive. I think he is the goods. I think that kid can straight fight, and I want to see him with the absolute best out there, and that's all there is to it. And Teofimo Lopez, that guy, Andre Ward is such a smart guy. He made such a good point. I think a guy like Shakur Stevenson, he has a lot of greatness ahead of him, but I think he has a lot of staying power, meaning he can be around for a long period of time. I think a guy like Teofimo Lopez, he is skyrocketing to the top super, super early. He's got that hype. He's got that power. He's got all of that. But I don't think he has the power to stay around long, meaning that his style and just everything about him is popular right now. I think Teofimo Lopez is more like a fad. He's going to be phenomenal and amazing for a couple of years, but I do think he falls off because I don't think he has the goods like Shakur Stevenson does. But Teofimo Lopez, by all means, he is a headline catcher. He is a media catcher. He's got the ego. He's got the brass. He's got the brass to back it up. He's got all of it. And what I love about him most is he wants to take on the best. He's been calling out Lomachenko, and he still is. In my opinion, I think it's an amazing fight. I still think Lomachenko schools him, but I think it's an amazing fight because I love Teofimo Lopez's attitude. If you watch this guy's attitude and self-belief is on another level. I would show my fighters that I would train and promote and just anybody the confidence that Teofimo Lopez has is something that you can't teach. It's something that this guy has the self-belief out of this world. This guy genuinely, in my opinion, believes that he can knock out Mike Tyson. And I'm not kidding. I think he actually even said that. Like, Teofimo Lopez is the guy who he's who you want to watch. He's really mouthy and brash, but he's like, it's kind of catchy. It's like, I don't not like him for it. I kind of like him for it because he believes in himself that much. Yep. It's hard for me to be mad at a man who believes in himself that much. So, good for him and good for all of us because we're going to get some really good fights at Teofimo Lopez, guys, in the next couple of years. We're going to get some badass fights if I'm being frank. And I think that I think he'll fizzle out though. In my opinion, I don't think he's around for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but I think Shakur Stevenson, I think he will be. I think in 5 or 6 years, we'll still be talking about Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion.
Teofimo Lopez thinking he can knock out Mike Tyson is like Clarissa Shields saying she can beat Keith Thurman.
OMG.
And I'm not a fan of that guy's mouth, but he's becoming must-watch TV. But before you guys finish off, I have a good fight for him. He wants a title. Richard Comey has a title. I think that's a good fight. Before he wants to fight Lomachenko, I think that makes sense. Comey's a veteran, could very well be undefeated, has some pop, but obviously still not Lomachenko. So I don't think there's any point of Lopez fighting regional guys anymore because he's going to get better from what he is, but he's ready. Like there's no point of him fighting bums for the next 4 years, right? So I want to see him and Lomachenko by the end of the year.
Yep. Okay, Riz, you only get one reputation in life, and once you sully it, it's never pristine again. And Jarrell Miller, Big Baby, blew the opportunity of a lifetime earlier this week when he tested positive for human growth hormone. Then he claimed it was all some kind of mistake and that he'd be exonerated. And then when the facts came out and he tested positive twice more, then he owned up for it. So now he's out of the Joshua fight, his biggest opportunity ever that he'll ever get. And now he has an image to rehabilitate. He's a cheater. Freddie Roach says cheaters deserve a lifetime ban. I personally agree. I think a guy should maybe get one mulligan, and if it happens again, he should find another line of work. Lives are at stake in this sport. Where do you come down on that?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm disappointed because I began warming up to Jarrell Miller. We talked about him a few years ago. We just thought he was a big out of shape heavyweight. Then he was clearly becoming something else. And the first failure he had was for a supplement literally to lose weight, and that just tells me, it's if you were disciplined with your weight to begin with, you wouldn't have been busted for this, right? But I don't know. I just think it's disappointing on so many levels because I thought I don't know what was going to happen in the fight, but not only did he just ruin, massive money changing opportunity for himself, but I wouldn't say he was going to beat Joshua, but I thought he was going to at least pose a new challenge that Joshua hasn't seen yet because Joshua is not used to, a guy who's weighs 320 pounds throwing 1,000 punches a fight. Maybe now we know how he's able to do that. So it's unfortunate for so many ways, and especially now when they're talking about the replacement opponents, and it's just, the heavyweight division just constantly just keeps shooting itself in the foot. We have, you have the three biggest names on three different networks who are not going to fight each other. And this idea of, I saw a good line, and this kind of sums it up. This idea of marinating, and boxing has more marination than a cooking show. Boxing does really have more marination than the Food Network, doesn't it? It's actually really sad because at this point, it seems like Manuel Char might be the next opponent, or Michael Hunter for Anthony Joshua, and I just don't think either of those guys are really, that tough. I think if we see Michael Hunter, at least it's a younger guy who had a very strong amateur background, who grew up in boxing, and at least he knows a different division. I would like to see how he does, and we can fare kind of how he does compared to how Usyk did against him. Other than that, I mean, this is going to be Joshua's debut, and I don't know. They better make it a stacked undercard because it's not looking good right now. I think fans are, with all the fights that could be happening or not happening. I mean, we saw this when the whole PBC schedule kind of came out. Why are we seeing guys against each other? Or fighting, quote unquote opponents instead of fighting each other, right? There's just so many of them, and I think fans are growing frustrated, and especially like when there was actually a conceivably potentially entertaining fight with Jarrell Miller and Joshua, something like this happened. So I know it's April right now, but there's a lot of so far it's been a pretty disappointing 4 months, I'd say, in boxing. Not we got the occasional decent fight, but it's nothing compared to what we're usually. I think what we expected, because I think when the year ended with us expecting a Fury and Wilder rematch, and we already thought that was going to be potentially the fight of the year for this year, and we obviously haven't seen that. So I'm hoping at least we get something like Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, because it's got to be something to look forward to. And yes, there's Canelo and Jacobs, and Golovkin's coming back, but the second half of this year can't go like at least the first 4 months has. I mean, again, we still have 7 months to go. There's plenty of time. And boxing usually from September to December has plenty of decent fights. But yeah, they need to step it up, because fans are growing disappointed right now. And again, can't take advantage of fans. Take advantage of fans. Fans will boycott eventually. And as soon as it starts affecting the the lining of these of the big fighters and the big promoters in their pockets, that's when things change. So, it's funny that Bob Arum is calling for the protest on Al Haymon fights, but I don't know. Maybe that's what needs to be done, but not just on Al Haymon fighters, but maybe a lot of the fighters.
Okay, and last one for you, John. Adalaide Byrd's name showed up on the Nevada Commission list of potential judges for Canelo-Jacobs. She's the judge who gave Canelo a lopsided decision over Golovkin in their first fight, which was a fight a lot of people thought Golovkin won. I'd be amazed and appalled if she wound up at ringside, but why is she even on the list? Is this somebody who deserves a second chance? We're all forgiving type people, but man, this is the most important fight of the year, possibly. And what if she ended up at ringside? What a travesty that would be.
Well, that would never happen because Danny Jacobs said not a chance. I mean, I read an article where he obviously wrote her name, and he didn't mention her by name because Danny's such a nice guy, but he said there's one person that we know that doesn't have a chance to be there. And yeah, it's really the Nevada Commission. The guy, is it Bennett? The guy
Bennett.
That runs it. Yeah,
Bennett. Yep.
I don't. Does he owe somebody money? Is he paid off? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand why he would even do that. Even saying, well, it was a mistake. Well, hell yeah, it was a mistake. You don't ever let that lady near an important fight. You see, in my view, they should have just, and this sounds harsh, and I don't mean it to sound harsh because I'm a very forgiving person most of the time, but you don't let her near any fights because I really can't stand fights that really impact a fighter's career. I mean, I've seen it too many times where a fighter will lose a decision. I hate hometown decisions. I understand the reality about it, but it's got to be so hard for a fighter to fight so hard and then get a victory taken away by a judge that who knows what the person is thinking, or they're blind, or whatever you want to say. And I've written so much about this, and the fact that the Nevada Commission puts her name on the list is just appalling. I just rolled my eyes, shook my head when I saw that, and that just tells me how incompetent they are. Let's be honest. They have to be, because you can't do that. Do you think anybody's going to forget? I mean, her name is kind of in a sense like an infamy when it comes to boxing with that scorecard that she did with Golovkin and Canelo. I mean, that was the most ridiculous card that I can remember, and I've seen some ridiculous ones. So it just made Nevada look stupid, and I bet they groaned when they heard that. But hey, they did it themselves. And the thing is that there's like a theme in boxing, and you know, I love the sport and I love writing about it. I love watching it, but boxing is the best sport when it comes to shooting its own self in the foot. And that's the thing that I shake my head, roll my eyes, don't understand why that happens so much, but it does. It happens way too much, Dennis.
Yeah, her scorecard in Canelo Golovkin 1 was not just bad; it was suspiciously bad to me. You know, it was it was Lawrence Cole refereeing bad to me.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Her husband is Robert Byrd, who's a terrific referee, and you know I think he's revered in Nevada, so maybe that had some influence. You know, they were trying to rehabilitate her image just a little bit by thinking, you know, she's in consideration, but I don't think she was ever, you know, going to be chosen.
No,
but maybe they were doing the Byrd family a favor by putting her on that, but it was bad optics.
Could be
real bad optics.
Could be.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So, okay, that's Travis Hartman, Rizwaan Zahid, John J. Raspanti. They are our expert analysts. You can catch them on this show every week. Thanks, you guys. You guys have a great Easter and a great week.
You too. Take care, guys.
All right. Ray Mercer is warming up in the bullpen. He is today's closer on the Ringside Boxing Show. Stay with us. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Ringside Boxing Show, the hottest, sweatiest show on West Coast radio.
What are you doing?
Hi, I'm Dennis Taylor, host of the Ringside Boxing Show, where since 2008 we have been continuously sponsored by Garcia Boxing, the first family of the sweet science on California's beautiful Central Coast. Trainers Max and Sam Garcia and ring strategist Dean Hamilton are regarded among the most knowledgeable in the game. And Kathy Garcia, who manages all Garcia boxing fighters, is renowned for her integrity and career guidance, having taken 2 boxers to #1 world rankings. Together they comprise one of the most respected teams in the sport. Learn more by calling 831-261-3214 or send them an email at garciaboxing25@aol.com. I'm Dennis Taylor, co-author of the Amazon bestseller Intimate Warfare, the true story of the Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward boxing trilogy. You know, writing this book was a labor of love for John J. Raspanti and myself. We enjoyed every minute of the process and considered it a privilege to tell the tale of one of the most electrifying boxing trilogies in the history of this sport. Intimate Warfare traces the collision course of Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward from their earliest days through their 3 epic fights, as well as the aftermath of this great rivalry, which culminated in one of the greatest friendships in boxing. Intimate Warfare has received a 4.5-star rating from readers and was endorsed by Hall of Famers Harold Letterman and Joe Cortez and 2-time Trainer of the Year Virgil Hunter. Our foreword was written by Ray Boom Boom Mancini, another one of the greatest blood and guts fighters of our time. Get your copy today at Amazon.com.
Mercer says he's packed more experience into his 17 pro fights than Morrison has in his 27. Mercer pounding away. Morrison may be going. Morrison is gone.
Ray Mercer knocking out Tommy Morrison to defend his WBO World Heavyweight Championship way back when, and he did that quite a bit. Ray Mercer was quite a puncher. Welcome back to the Ringside Boxing Show on the Grueling Truth Network. I am Dennis Taylor, and with John J. Raspanti, and today's featured guest, in our estimation, was one of the most underappreciated heavyweights of his generation. Merciless Ray Mercer fought as a professional for 2 decades, from 1989 to 2008. He won the WBO heavyweight crown from Francesco Damiani in his 17th pro fight, and then he handed Tommy Morrison's first career defeat in his only title defense. His career also included fights with Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Tim Witherspoon, Wladimir Klitschko, Bert Cooper, Jesse Ferguson, Shannon Briggs, just to mention a few. Ray Mercer also was an Olympic gold medalist, a kickboxer. He ventured into UFC for a short time, most notably scoring a first-round knockout in 9 seconds over 2-time UFC heavyweight champ Tim Sylvia. He had a career record of 36-7 in boxing, 1 draw. 26 of those wins were knockouts. A lot of those knockouts were highlight reel knockouts, and he accomplished all of that even though he missed nearly 3 years of his career with a neck injury and a bout with hepatitis B, and although he didn't even start his boxing career until he was 23 years old. Ray Mercer, welcome to the Ringside Boxing Show. Thanks for the memories, man. How are you, champ?
Oh, I'm doing great, and it's great to be here.
Hey, first I want to take you back to the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, Korea, where you were one of 3 U.S. gold medalists, along with Andrew Maynard and Kennedy McKinney. Silver medalists on that team were Michael Carbajal and Roy Jones, Jr., both of whom got robbed by corrupt judges, and Riddick Bowe, who lost a controversial decision in the finals to some Canadian guy named Lennox Lewis, and Romalis Ellis and Kenny Gould won bronze medals. Man, Ray, what a wrecking crew for the Stars and Stripes that year. What's your most vivid memory from that experience? Was it standing on top of the podium here in the national anthem, or was it something else?
It was standing on top of the podium, man, you know, and it's like a dream come true, man. I was just, you know, when I was in the Army, I, you know, got into boxing just to get out of going to, you know, the field, you know, and I didn't take it serious, and I got into it, and, you know, next thing you know, I started watching, you know, the amateurs. I've been watching the amateurs, but I really started getting into it and started trying to learn how to really box, and, you know, it just caught on. I won 13 fights, my first 13 fights over in Germany, you know, and losing in the biggest tournament over there, which is Ushua. So, you know, from that point on, I started having a dream that I wanted to win a gold medal in the Olympics. you know. And you know, a couple of years passed and it gets stronger. I just kept praying, man. And 5 years later, I'm in the. I mean, it was like really like a dream come true. I never thought that would happen. But I said I would train hard and I would do everything I was told and do everything that I need to do to get there. And then if I don't make it, then I know I gave it my best shot. And you know, being there, you know, the amateurs for me is the ultimate. It was my ultimate dream, and it happened. So those are the most important days and times of my life, and they are the most memorable times and great times. It's the best times I've ever had. The only joy that I've got beyond that was having a kid. Other than that, gold medal was it.
Wow, pinnacle. You were the senior citizen on that team at 27 years old. Roy Jones was the youngest. He was just 19. Did you kind of feel like a big brother to everybody else in the Olympic Village there?
I feel like a father to everybody, you know. But I really didn't know, you know, all them guys like that, you know, coming from Germany and everything, you know. So I was just doing my own thing, man. You know, I was just being me, but you know, all the guys looked up to me, and you know, I wasn't the best, you know, guy in the camp, you know, to be looking up to, because I was just like too old to be making bed check at 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make bed. So if you follow me, you look up to me, you did the same thing I did, you got in trouble. Because that's what I did. I had to clean the latrine every day because I was not making bed check at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, but, you know, I was like the father type figure, you know, being the oldest. That was one of the downfalls of me being, you know, one of the oldest guys on the team. But also being one of the oldest is knowing how serious this is and what kind of journey this is for you, you know, to make the Olympic team and to go win a gold medal and to know how serious it is, you know. And I had that. I had that with the military and me being, you know, a little older. I knew how important it was and what I had to do, and I did it.
Yeah, Ray, we remember that you started boxing in the Army when you were 23, which we've been speaking of is pretty old. And until then, you wanted to be a football player. I'm curious, what position did you play, and how good were you, Ray?
I was, you know, the first year I was JV, you know, and you know, when I was a junior, I made the varsity. I was a starter. I started the last 2 years of my high school football. I started. So, you know, that was a dream too, but you know, saying I didn't have the grades with you know, with everything else. So,
yeah.
You know, I just joined the Army, man. You know, I was in the military, but anyway, my family, man, we traveled everywhere. It was a good life. So I joined the Army, man. Best thing I probably ever could have done, because without that, I wouldn't have won the gold medal. We would be talking right now.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
So, what about boxing? Was it something that you just immediately liked, or was it a way to avoid a lot of the other boring stuff that, you know, that is sometimes connected to the Army?
Well, to be honest, and I really don't want to say this because it makes it sort of bad for the soldiers now, but I just, you know, they had a heavyweight on post, and he was a post, and I was working in the motor pool, and I talked all kind of trash out a little bit. So the coach asked me to be a sparring partner, and we had a 30-day field problem that we had to go through, sleeping in the snow and all that, you know, eating that food, you know, just in the field, just miserable. So I thought, if I said yes, I wouldn't have to go to the field. So it's safe to say that I was getting warm showers and, you know, there's hot food, but when it came to the boxing part, I was getting the hell beat out of me every day. So I was paying for not going to the field. And, you know, that's how I got into it. And I asked the trainer to show me how to defend myself, and he showed me. And it caught on. That's when I got interested in boxing right there.
I see.
That's how it happened.
Cool. How about early in your amateur career? How early in your amateur career did you start thinking that you would likely want to fight as a professional?
Oh, I wasn't thinking about professional until after the Olympics. Like I said, that was my dream for the Olympics. I really didn't think about turning pro until basically after I won the gold medal. That was the only thing that I was really interested in. I knew what comes with that, but that ain't what drove me to you know, do what I did, you know, to win the gold medal. You know.
No.
Yeah.
Ray, guys like Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Ray Leonard really benefited from that Olympic gold medal, from becoming Olympic champions when they turned pro. Did the gold medal help you at all as a pro?
I think it did. I got in my first fight. I got paid. I was on ESPN, and I got paid $50,000. You know, for my first 4-round fight. You know, that was good. I mean, yeah, it benefits you. You know, being a medalist. I mean, how far, you know, being an Olympian, a gold medalist. I think you have an advantage. You know, because you're gonna have the best. You're gonna, you know, the best. You're gonna have the best managers, hopefully, and the best promoters, which I think I had, it was oh my God, I didn't just do that. It was Top Rank, Bob Aaron.
Yeah.
So, you know, he treated me real well, so I was able to move up kind of quick. You know, but a lot of guys don't have that. So, you know, with the gold medal, you get to, you know, you're going to get the more attention, and that's what gets you ahead.
You know, I think the first time I became a fan, you and I are about the same age, and John too. I just turned 66, but so I'm a little older than you. But I think my first awareness of Ray Mercer as a boxing fan was that 12-round brawl you had with Bert Cooper in 1990 for the NABF belt. And you won it by unanimous decision. But, man, he was a rugged guy, and that was a tough fight. How big did that victory feel at the time?
Oh, man. After a couple of days in the hospital, I was able to enjoy it. I was just glad that I, you know, won that fight, man. That's probably the only thing that kept me alive in that one. That was when you mentioned Bert Cooper. Every time you mentioned Bert Cooper, my jaw and my lips started hurting. Cause that dude was a powerhouse, man. We was in Atlanta City emergency room getting stitched up next to each other at the same time. That was the fight of the year, and that was the toughest fight of my career. I tell everybody that. It was tough.
Wow.
You only needed 23 months and 17 fights to become a world champion. You beat Francesco Damiani in the 9th round in Atlantic City. One-punch KO, 9th round. You were behind on points at the time. What do you remember about that moment, becoming a world champion?
I remember getting my ass whooped the whole fight until I threw that one uppercut jab, the up jab. You know, I'd be working on, just playing around with in the gym like that. The only thing I had to tell the guy was beat me in every round and on everything. You know, I had power and all that. This guy was a boxer. He was a southpaw. He looked awkward and everything, man, and he was. So I just threw. I had nothing else. I just knew I could get him. I just went in there the 9th round and I threw the punch that I work on the heavy bag, just playing around, and it landed. And I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't really believe it. And I really didn't know how important the belt was, you know, then, you know, being young in the game. And, you know, and people that I had, I wasn't able to keep it long. I gave it up to fight Larry Holmes. You know, I supposed to fight Michael Moore, but I didn't want to fight a southpaw. So I chose to fight Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes was one of my idols, and I thought that was an honor to fight him.
Yeah.
So I gave up my belt. I think that was probably the stupidest move I've ever made in boxing. But that was it.
I'm curious, why didn't you want to fight Michael Moore? Because he was a southpaw, or just why?
Because he was a southpaw. I mean, after fighting Damiani, man, I lost that damn fight. I threw one. You know, they say it's no such thing as a lucky punch. Because I had bad intentions on everything I was throwing at him at that time, and I landed it. And I threw it and I landed it, and boy, I'm just glad of that. I'm just glad of that. But you know, fighting the southpaw takes away my jab, which is my favorite punch. It just totally takes away my jab, and I'm totally lost when I'm doing fighting the southpaw. So I didn't want to fight him, and then I thought it would be an honor like fighting Larry Holmes. Then I had two managers that was arguing between each other, and I had two of them in my ear, to be honest. I had Mark Roberts was in one ear telling me, Michael Moore, and I had the guy that he teamed up with from Wall Street for money telling me to fight Larry Holmes. I had two people in my ear. So I figured he was, my idol, and I'd really fight him. And I have a problem with Southpaw, so, it wasn't a hard choice to me. I didn't want to fight a Southpaw. So that was it with Michael Moore.
See, your title defense against Tommy Morrison, man, I remember that one so good. Morrison was 28-0 with 24 knockouts. God, he had such a buzz about him. You were behind on the card, I remember, but, man, you took him out in the 5th round. Did you see him? What kind of threat did you see him? Because I think I remember you fought him in the amateurs, so you knew a little bit about him. But going into that fight, what were you thinking, Ray?
I knew I was going to win. But I didn't know it was going to be a knockout like that. But, we trained for a long time because both of us had injuries. So we had to postpone the fight, and we was in great shape. So I knew that I was in good shape. And then I had my bodyguard, which name was O.D. Wilson. He won the strongest man in the world contest twice over in Germany. And we were stationed together over in Germany. So he was my bodyguard bringing out my belt. And we had weigh-ins at Madison Square Gardens. Not at Madison Square Garden, at the Times Square outside. And when Morrison took off his shirt, he had nothing but blackheads on the back, on his back. And my man back here, who knows about steroids, the strongest guy in the world, he told me all you have to do, he said he's on oil-based steroids. All you have to do is make him work for 5 rounds. And then you got it. So we came up with that plan 2 days before the fight. I didn't tell my trainers anything, but I just, I was getting whooped because I didn't want to get him tired. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. It worked. He went on. That shit works. It worked. And he got tired after the end of the 3rd or the 4th round. He started breathing hard, and that's when I woke up. I mean, you can clearly see it.
You woke up. You woke up and put him to sleep. Yeah.
It was time for me. It was time for me. It was time for me to do my thing. I caught him with a little punch on the ear or behind the ear a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was time. It was time.
Hey,
I woke up after. Huh?
How big of a puncher was he compared to some of the other guys you fought? Where did he rank?
Well, he was up there, but he never hurt me. And, a couple other guys, I felt, he hit me with that hook, Mike Tyson's favorite punch, that hook and uppercut. It didn't faze me at all, but I got to tell you, he was powerful. He's a strong guy. I think probably 2. I think Lennox Lewis, I got to give Lennox Lewis number 1 because he's a big guy. And I'm going to tell you, I got Klitschko and Lennox Lewis. But I'm going to tell you, Tommy Morrison up there with Lennox Lewis. I say he's about number 2. I say he's about number 2. The guy threw hit hard, but he didn't hurt me. He just get your attention. But he was throwing them nice punches. He got nice hooks and everything. I ate them all.
I remember. Now you were talking about Larry Holmes, and Larry Holmes was a great fighter. And when you fought him, he was 42, but obviously he could still fight, right? You lost the decision. How good was Holmes at 42, Ray? I mean, that's old, but obviously he was still talented.
You know what? He had the wit. Between him being my idol and between him being my idol and him having, the smarts and all that other stuff, he just distracted me, and he was just talking to his wife back and forth, just distracted me, talking to the crowd. If you watch the fight, you see it. You're talking to the crowd. That just threw me out a little bit, Just threw me off a little bit. And then my trainers also told me that the man that age shouldn't be standing after 3 rounds. So that's one thing I learned, that you don't tell a fighter. Because after 3 rounds and he's still there, it kind of plays on you.
Yeah.
So I was told that too. So it was a lot of stuff. But, I fought Larry Holmes. I fought my idol. I wish I had won. I didn't win. He won everything. I love him. As a matter of fact, we're going to play golf in June.
Nice. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Larry Holmes has a golf tournament. It's in July. Every July he has one for the last, 6 years. And he's invited me and my wife there every time. And it's a great place to be. I mean, he's the nicest guy in the world. People would never believe that, man. Larry Holmes is the nicest guy that I know.
Huh, great. How good of a golfer is he? What kind of golfer is he?
Oh, we golf about the same. Can you hit the ball? We hit the ball and the ball goes backwards. How about that? The ball goes backwards. Yeah, everybody goes. Yeah, everybody when we swing, everybody moves to the back of us. They don't move. They move to the front because they know the ball is going to the back. It's crazy. Yep. We have a lot of fun. Yeah.
I hit a drive off my own ankle one time. Yep.
Whoa, I know that.
Oh yeah, it did. It definitely did.
I can imagine. I'd have quit. I wouldn't even grab
it
no more, man. Jesus Christ. That hurt me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Ringside Boxing Show from Monterey, California. I'm Dennis Taylor with John J. Raspanti. We're talking to an outstanding heavyweight from the 1990s, fought for 20 years, actually, Merciless Ray Mercer. That loss to Larry Holmes cost you a title shot against Evander Holyfield, didn't it?
It cost me, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it did. It cost me a lot.
And you finally got Holyfield.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
So you got Holyfield 3 years later, and you guys had a sensational fight. He won on the cards. What sticks out for you about that night against Holyfield?
When he hit me when I was down on one knee, he hit me in the back of the head. You know, I always defended him being a clean fighter. You know, although I've seen a couple of times when he wasn't, but I never thought I'd be on the butt end of it, but I was. But I think Holyfield is a great fighter, and I'm going to tell you, if you're going to fight Holyfield, you better be in shape. You better be in shape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You better be in shape when you fight that guy. And he's fast. I'm telling you, he's fast on his feet. That's what I remember throwing. When you throw one, he's trying to come back with 2 and 3. You know? Yeah. And that's what we tried to train to do. We tried to train to throw a lot of punches with him. We did pretty good. And I started moving backwards after the 7th round, but he caught me, and I took a knee. He hit me in the back of the head. Now we got back up, and I started moving backwards. That's the only thing I did wrong to lose that fight. But Holyfield's a great guy too. He's a great guy too. Yeah. And you had to be in shape to fight him. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, yeah. Now a year later, you lost the majority decision to Lennox Lewis at Madison Square Garden. And I got to tell you, Ray, and it's not just because you're on our show right now, but I watched that fight, and I actually thought you won it. I did. I thought you edged Lewis, but one judge scored it a draw, and the other judges gave it to Lewis by a point and a couple points. Was that one really difficult to swallow?
To this day. To this day. You know why? Not because of Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, I've seen him on 3 occasions. He done told me twice that he thinks I won that fight. And I told him he had to check, and he said he would. I was still waiting on it, though. But he told me he said he had to check. But he's admitted to. But, what hurts me about that fight is, and I think you guys might know, that both of us was gold medalists. And we're not fighting in his hometown. We're fighting in my country.
Yeah.
In my backyard. That's what hurt me the most. Not the fact that, that's what hurts me, man. That's what makes, I to this day, I still don't understand that. I went over, I fought in the Olympics for our country and everything. I just knew, that if it was close, then I would get the edge, being in my backyard, man. And I beat the guy, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that
one.
Yeah,
that one still hurts to this day. To this day, that one still hurts.
I can understand that. But you did it again. You came back, and you beat Tim Witherspoon in 1996. And then you had a neck injury that kept you out of the ring for 14 months. What happened? Yeah. How did you hurt your neck?
I went to I had a pinch. I thought a pinch nerve or something in my neck, and I went to a chiropractor, man. And I was laying there. I should have sued him, but I just didn't. I was just the type of guy that didn't, want to sue. That I was going to make it anyway. But you know how they, at the end when they do you massage and all that, they pop your neck, they tell you. He didn't tell me that he's getting ready to snap my neck. He just grabbed my neck and just told me to relax and all that other shit. And then, you know, he's playing. Then all of a sudden he just snapped and I wasn't ready. He didn't tell me, you know, to relax then. And he snapped it when I wasn't ready, and he herniated 2 discs.
Oh.
So I had to get I had to get surgery, man. That was the worst. I had to wear a neck brace thing for 6 months, dude. Mm-hmm. I had to sleep on my stomach. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me right there. That was bad.
Gosh.
That was bad.
How difficult was Ray? I mean, your career, you just beat Tim Witherspoon, and then that happens, and you're out. How difficult was that? I mean, the layoff. That must have been hard.
Yeah, man, that was hard. It was hard. It was hard as what I had to go through. You know, coming back was tough too. Yeah. You know, coming back. Anybody they got injuries, man. They're trying to make it to come back. It's tough. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to come back and do that. Like the past. He had broken neck, and he came back. You can imagine what he went through.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, so that's a lot of respect for him, guy. But that took me through hell too. It was a lifetime hell. It didn't have nothing. Boxing, I wasn't even thinking about boxing at that time. I was thinking about just getting my neck back right. I couldn't swallow. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even sleep because it would wake me up. Something was dripping in my throat, and it would just wake me up. And I just a couple of nights I just woke up and started crying. I was like asking the Lord, what did I do to deserve this? You know?
Yeah.
Can't sleep. I'm talking for weeks. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I should have sued that guy.
Yeah.
I should have did. I see him on the street. I get my money's worth out of him. I get my money's worth out of him for all that shit I went through. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Talking to Ray Mercer on the Ringside Boxing Show. Well, the amazing thing is you came back and you got one more title shot in 2002 against another future Hall of Famer, Wladimir Klitschko. He was 38-1 at the time, and he'd been WBO champ for 2 years. You were already 41 then, and he stopped you in 6. Did you go into that fight feeling like you had a lot left as a fighter, or did you know you were kind of running for the stable at that point?
I was actually stupid because I went into the fight knowing all I got to do is be is I didn't really know him too much and know how big he was and how strong he was. I didn't know all that. I just knew, Wladimir Klitschko. That's who I'm fighting. So I was training in Atlantic City, on the boardwalk every day. And I went fishing one morning and caught a fish of my dreams. I caught a striped bass. And I've always wanted to catch one. So after I caught that, I started cutting my run short a little bit. I just know if I ate right and I lose weight and I'm at the right weight, I can beat this guy. And I caught that fish, and it caused me to look forward to going fishing more than it did finishing on runs all the time. Because I didn't know he was big and strong like that. And when I went to the press conference, I was like, damn. And then when we got in the ring and he hit me with that jab, knocked me on my butt, that's when I was like, I've been in trouble. Yeah, but I hung in there. I tried to fight him, but he's a strong dude. And it wasn't his power that would hurt me. What it was is he had a little hook that he just turns over. He don't even throw it hard. He just turns it over. He just hangs it out there and he'll turn it over. He's getting on the chin. And 2 times he did that. I was like, whoa. I can actually tell you, after that fight, I was the happiest guy for 2 weeks to everybody. I'm telling you, because he had messed me up a little bit. I was drunk in there, boy. I'm telling you. I've never been like that before. I've never been like that before. But shit, I was just, you were pitiful. Boy. But, I was a little older. I learned something on that one, too. I tell the young guys now about that story all the time, man. Y'all got to watch and know your opponent. Because if you don't, you think you that good, you just going to go in there, all you got to do is lift weights and run and eat right and be in shape, and you can beat this guy. It's not true. Mm-hmm. We all learn. Yeah. That was, I never took an ass whooping like that before. Yeah. And I I flew everybody in for that fight, too. I flew a lot of people in for that fight.
Ray, we look over your record. You fought Holmes. He was 41 at the time. Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Klitschko, Tommy Morrison, just to name a few. Who impressed you the most on the night that you fought him? Who was the best you ever fought?
The best that I ever fought was Holyfield.
Holyfield.
Holyfield. He was fast.
Mm-hmm.
And he had he boxed. He's a boxer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it was him. I mean, he didn't hurt me one time. He hit me with something I didn't see. And those are the punches that didn't hurt you. That's why I took a knee. And then I feel like I could have won that fight if I'd have just kept going forward. But we really trained hard for that fight. I was 228 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And we were throwing punches right along with him. He really impressed me. Right there, Holyfield.
Yep. Nobody ever had a bigger heart than Holyfield either.
Nobody.
Yeah, he was
nobody.
pretty special.
Holyfield, I gotta tell you, he takes it serious.
Yeah.
Is there, Ray? Curious here. What do you miss about boxing? What do you not miss about boxing?
Okay, what I miss about boxing is the chicks. What I don't miss is the training.
Did you say the chicks?
No, the checks. Money.
The checks. Okay.
Oh, the checks. Okay.
Oh, man, don't get me in trouble, man. I'm home, man. Oh, my wife. Good thing she downstairs. She's downstairs.
The green
side.
Yeah.
Chicks is what to mess you up. Nah, man. The checks and training.
Training was tough. Training was hard.
Training was fun for me sometimes, but then when you get where you're the only one in the gym training, and I don't like that. I like being in the gym with a lot of people in the gym training. So that's what I didn't like about it. When you get important fights and everybody got to be secretive, I ain't like that. And I like people seeing and all that. I just like the gym just crowded and full and everybody talking and laughing and all that.
Yeah. I got to ask you about this, Ray, because I actually watched this.
Go ahead. I know it was coming.
You sure? Tim Sylvia? I don't know if that was coming. Okay, it surprised you. That fight, we're curious if you were nervous going into that, but Ray, that right hand you threw, was that just something where you said, he's got his chin sticking out, I want to fire it? And you just let it go, or was that must have been so sweet to knock him out like that in 9 seconds.
Man, I tell you the story on that. They set the fight, and we had like 2 press conferences. A couple of months before the fight. We sort of played with Tim Sylvia's mind. I was old. In the last fight, I don't know how old I was. I was 49 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I told him, he knew I was old and all that. I told him I drink, I smoke weed, I drink all the time. I don't run. I told him I'm too old to run. So we played in his head twice. I got drunk in front of him twice. I got drunk in front of him twice. And then, he to get his confidence up. But then his manager told me that he said now started getting, we on the radio. Oh, my God. Anyway, that he, when he got the belt, then, that's when his life really started moving, when he got the belt. So when he told me that, I was like, man, this guy, he's sort of like a big kid. He's like, 31 or something like that. So we played with his mind, man. I had him walking in the hotel. He passed me, what's up, old man? I'd be like, oh, yeah, what's up? Meaning I'm training, I am running. We're doing boxing training, though. We're not doing MMA training. We're doing nothing but boxing training, because that MMA training is too tough, I'm telling you. After I train a day of that training, hard training, is a day. It's like 12 rounds of boxing. So I said, damn, I can do the boxing training. So when he kicked me, we got in there. We worked his brain. We got in there. He was all confident. We had a press conference. They had canceled the fight because they said the commission, they had no commission. So for boxing, so they canceled it, and I went to the bar. I ordered 3 Heinekens and 3 double shots of Patron. And then I'm sitting there with my friend after I drink that. He's telling me, yeah, they're flying somebody else in. I'm thinking they're canceling the whole card. You know, so I'm like, what? They trying something? He said, yeah, because they can't. I said, well, we do MMA then. So we went and found that we was drunk, and we told them that we'd do MMA. So they just knew they had it. We had a press conference. You know, I was drunk at the press conference. You can Google it. You can watch it, and you will bug out. You will bug out. But he was saying stuff, disrespect me, saying, you know, he don't have a criminal record. I'm like, mother, I don't have a criminal record either. As a matter of fact, I served my country 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make me look bad and all that. So I was drunk at the press conference. I was cussing. You guys have got to look at that. To Google that and look at that. I was seriously drunk on that one. So when we got to the fight, I was mad because he did that. And then they called me 5 minutes before the fight. My people didn't. I was in the dressing room sleep. I was late, and they called my name 3 times. So finally came back and woke me up, and I had to walk out there wiping stuff out my eyes. You know, everybody just thought I'm gonna lose. Even my team probably thought. So this guy got in there, and he just kicked me. See what I was gonna do? Yeah. I said, hey, he didn't take me down. So I just started rocking, and he started rocking with me, and I gave him my hardest shot that I could throw. I hit him with it, and it landed. And I didn't know he was down, so I went for his legs, and I looked up, and his head was stretched, and I jumped up, and I hammer fisted him once. Perfect. He was out in the nose. And then I was doing it again, and the referee pushed me off. I could not believe it. That was happy. I got more satisfaction out of that than probably any of my boxing matches, I'm telling you. Whoa, he was out. That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Man, that kind of stuff was way out of your comfort zone, though. You know, you don't want to go to the ground with those guys because you know something bad's going to happen if that happens. You know, was that in your head at all?
Yeah, that's why I let the right hand go. That's why he gonna sit there and stand with me. Then he was talking noise about boxing. He wanted to box and all that too. You know, because it's supposed to be a boxing match, but he said he can box and all that. But he tried to stand up with me. So that's where he made his mistake, and I laid it out on him.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he had like a $3 million fight coming up next, $1 million fight that he couldn't take. He was riding around in one of them hover chairs that night in the hotel. That night I knocked him out. It felt so good, you know. And everybody in the MMA world, they hate him. They don't like him. They think he's arrogant. So everybody praised me for that. Everybody.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, so that's my last fight. That was great. That was good.
What do you think of today's heavyweight division? What do you think of Joshua, Wilder, and Fury?
I think Fury and Joshua's good. I think Wilder is just a power punch, trying to land. That ain't gonna get you too far. Well, it's gotten far now because there's nobody else out there. But they're coming. They're coming. I think they're coming. They're coming.
How about Fury? What do you think of Tyson Fury?
I love him. Yeah. I mean, his life story. I feel so bad that they robbed him of that fight. You know, it's just bad he got robbed, but he took it well, and you know they're the best of friends now. So I love Tyson Fury. Man. I think he's a good fighter. He just needs to quit playing around so much, and he can do it. I love him. I'm looking forward to meeting him one day.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the most amazing things we've ever seen, to see him get up from that shot that Wilder threw in the 12th round.
And then to come back still whoop him after that.
Yes.
On the rest of the round,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. That guy's amazing. He did it.
He did.
Last question for you. You've gotten involved in philanthropy since you retired. You actually are on the board of directors for 2 nonprofits. One of them's Kicking It, which is anti-bullying organization. One of them's Find a Dream, which promotes education and sports for kids.
Exactly.
How rewarding is that part of your life? How much do you enjoy that part?
I enjoy that most of all because it's giving back. That's what it is, giving back. And, you know, and the people like Robert Carty, which is the founder of Find a Dream, he's a great guy, and he does a lot for the kids. You can't help but to get involved. You got to. You just have to. So I'm involved with those 2 things because they're kids. You know, so I do what I can do. You know, we got a golf tournament for Kicking It in New Jersey on the 21st of September. You know, we had the Pisco Burrs is coming. Bobby Ches will be there. Jerry Cooney will be there. We're gonna have foursomes. You know, team up with celebrities. So it's gonna be a nice thing, man. So I just want to put that out there to everybody that on the 21st of September, New Jersey, the Kicking It has the golf tournament. Sign up.
Nice.
I don't exactly know
Really
what the golf course is, but I will find that out.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Don't make any bets with Cooney out there. He's a hustler.
Oh, you don't have to tell me, man. He stopped me from drinking. I can't wait to see him so I can tell him it's been a year and 3 months since I've had a drink.
Wow. Congratulations.
That's what.
Yeah, man, I feel great. I think you guys can tell that I feel real good. Life is good.
Yes.
I'm going fishing as soon as I finish talking to you guys. So we're great. We're good. Life after boxing is good, man. Life after boxing is good. I get to talk to you, Dave and John.
Dennis and John, yeah.
Dennis and John.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So
Dennis, you about what? Dennis, you're 66 years old, huh?
He's 66.
Yeah, 7 grandkids.
Wow. 7 grandkids. That's good. Shit.
Yeah.
Ray, I got to tell you, Ray, you're the baby during this interview because I'm 60 and I think you're like 58, maybe.
I just turned
58
on the 4th of this month. I just turned 58.
So you're the youngster during this interview. So there you go. Enjoy.
Wow. Well, you guys sound like you gotta be young. But you are young, man. We are young. 60 is nothing. 60 is young, and I want you guys to know that. 60 is young. Because you look, compared to 90, 60 is young.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's the way you got to think. You got to think like, hey, I'm not old. I'll be old when I get 90. Think about somebody that's 90. They old. Yeah. We can still do the same thing. Well, we can't box no more. I can, but I don't want to get hit. We're smarter. We're definitely smarter.
Definitely smarter.
Yeah, so if you look at somebody like if I, can't get no young girl, I'll go out and get me a 90-year-old woman. I'll feel young. Something to make you feel young, yeah. Sometimes I forget I'm on the radio.
You bet. We love it.
Absolutely.
We love it.
That means you guys are good when you make somebody forget that they're on the radio.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Merciless Ray Mercer was one of the best of his era. He was an Olympic champion. He was world heavyweight champion. He fought multiple all-time greats, and he always brought it. He's also the member of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Carolina Boxing Hall of Fame, New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame, and the U.S. Marine Corps Hall of Fame, even though it was U.S. Army. Man, great to catch up with you, champ, and thanks very much for making some time for us today on the Ringside Boxing Show.
Oh, man, you know what? The Ringside Boxing Show is the joint, and I hope you guys have me on once again.
We would love it. Absolutely love it. You got a lot more stories to tell us, I'm sure.
Oh, my God. You just don't know. You got to have one of them beeping things. Next time we talk, you got to have one of them beep, beep, beep. Beep out everything, all the bad stuff.
Well,
yeah. Okay, man. Well, it's nice talking to you guys, man.
You too. Thanks very much, Ray. Have a great one.
Right,
have fun fishing. Have fun fishing,
Thank
Ray.
you. I will.
Ray Mercer on the Ringside Boxing Show. Hey, do you like this show? Do us a solid. Tell other boxing fans about us. Post the Ringside Boxing Show on your social media platforms and help us grow. Also, if you haven't yet discovered the world's best website for daily boxing news, you got something to add to your bucket list. Visit ringsideboxingshow.com right now and prepare to be amazed. We update this site every single day with the top headlines, the biggest stories in boxing. So it's really eye candy. Ringsideboxingshow.com, check it out. There's also an excellent book out there waiting for you. It's called Intimate Warfare, The True Story of the Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward Boxing Trilogy. John Raspanti and I wrote it, and it's an Amazon bestseller, so take a look at that. We want to thank our expert analysts today, Travis Hartman, Rizwaan Zahid, and my partner, John J. Raspanti, our British correspondent, Paul McLaughlin, and another huge thanks to today's featured guest, former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Merciless Ray Mercer. And, of course, thanks to you, Ringside Nation, for being a part of our worldwide audience again today. Keep your chin tucked. We'll talk to you next week on the Ringside Boxing Show.
Well, it's a great day for me to whoop somebody's ass. It's a bad day, so you better get off of my back. You might get cold cocked if you cross my path. It's a great day